Hi students, myself Suresh Kanakraj, and we are going to understand a beautiful chapter called as real numbers. Now you might be thinking, what are real numbers? That means, is there a duplicate numbers? Let's understand in detail. Now, when you started with your schooling, the first thing you've learned in your school days is nothing but you have started with A, B, C, and so on. Your teacher must have explained you A for apple, B for ball, and so on when you started with your school. So till that time you don't know what are numbers. Later your teacher have taught you the rhymes. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, shut the door. Then you understood what are these things called as. Then your teacher told these are nothing but they are called as numbers. So then your teacher might have told these numbers are said as counting numbers. So the numbers starting from 1, 2, 3 and so on are called as counting numbers. So later on, these counting numbers you have understood it as natural numbers. Till the time you were in the lower grade, you might have understood the numbers would start with 1 and so on. But later on, when you got promoted to the higher grade, then you started getting various numbers. So in the exams you wrote certain things and your teacher found that it is irrelevant and she gave you something called as 0. Then you asked your teacher, what is this, a new number you've introduced? Your teacher told this is called as 0. So the list of numbers will not start from 1. Then you understood the list of number will start from 0. So here the number which you have understood starting from 1, 2 and 3 are called as natural numbers, and later the 0 is introduced in this particular list, and then we understood the number starts from 0 and so on. So these numbers are nothing but they are said to be whole numbers. Now, after you have understood what are whole numbers, in the higher class during your examination, you might have looked here and there, but you got caught by your teacher and the teacher immediately said, give your paper, I'll give you some negative marks. And you don't know what are those negative marks. Your teacher have given you -1 marks or -2 and so on. Then you ask teacher, what are this -1 or something you are given 1. Your teacher explained at that point of time, these numbers are nothing but they are called as negative numbers. So in the list, if you have 0, 1, 2 and 3, along with if you introduce -1, -2, -3 and so on, then those numbers are nothing but they are said to be integers. So when I say integers, it is collection of negative numbers, it is collection of positive numbers, and also it is collection of 0. So now we have understood and we have expanded the list of numbers. Initially we had just 1, 2, 3. And later we understood what is 0. Then we have expanded our list to a whole number. Then later we got to understand what are -1, -2 and -3 and so on. And those set of numbers are nothing but they are called as integers. Now, in the higher class, you started giving various exams, but you got marks for all the sums. You have written the exams perfectly alright, but still you got the marks as half, 1/4, 1/3. You got surprised. I still have understood just what is 0, what is 1. I know what is -1, but I don't know what is this 1/2, what is 1/4 and what is 1/3. Then I started calculating it with the help of a calculator. So when I divide 1/2, I got a number like 0.5. And also when I divided 1/3, I got 0.333. So that means these numbers are nothing but they are said as rational number. So the later teacher explained us these numbers are said to be rational number, which is nothing but it is ratio of two integers. And if you try to express this ratio in the form of a decimal, half, we got it as 0.5, that is terminating decimal number, and 1/3 we got it as 0.333, and that is recurring decimal numbers. So from 1, 2, 3, we understood what is 0. Then later we have understood what are the negative numbers. And now we have in our list some numbers which are in the form of something upon something, or it is of the form P upon Q, and those are rational numbers. So till the time you have learnt all the numbers, those numbers are nothing but they are said to be rational numbers. And now you started going to the higher class. Now your teacher asked, what do you mean by a pi? And the first thing strikes your mind is nothing but a cookie or a chocolate, or you can say something, a baked item, right? But teacher said, no, pi is nothing but, the value of pi over here is, it is 3.14 and so on. So when I say these numbers, this particular number is not rational number. There are some numbers which are said to be irrational numbers. So students, we have understood few collection of numbers. First we have understood what are natural numbers. Then we have understood what are whole numbers. Later we have understood what are integers. Then from integers we have understood what are rational numbers. And now we got certain numbers called as irrational numbers, which is non-terminating and non-recurring. So the collection of all the rational and irrational number together is called as real numbers. So what are real numbers? It is the collection of all rational and irrational. So now you have understood what are real numbers. So till the time you have learnt all the number till now are called as real numbers.
And yes, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon.